Story 1. My 22F fiance, 25M, want his father to check my hymen tomorrow night before I get married. My fiance proposed about 8 months ago. We planned a relatively small wedding, set for 2 days from now. Until now, everything has been wonderful. We are deeply in love and seem perfectly matched. We are both virgins and decided to wait until marriage. He mentioned earlier that, in his family, the father of the groom checks the bride's virginity the night before the wedding. I dismissed it as a bizarre joke. Now, I realize he was completely serious. He expects me, the night before our wedding, to submit to a physical examination in front of him, his father, his brothers, and his uncle to prove my purity. I told him there was absolutely no way I would agree to such a thing. He begged me, emphasizing its importance to him. He acknowledged it might be slightly embarrassing, but claimed his mother did it, and that it would demonstrate my love and prove I have nothing to hide. I left, and he was extremely emotional and dramatic. I'm now considering calling off the entire wedding and ending all contact. This is an utterly unacceptable demand. Yet, apart from this, we are truly perfect for each other. I don't want to imagine my life with anyone else, and he insists it's crucial to him and his family. I am completely panicked and at a loss. I'm currently staying in my friend's house and may stay here tonight. Tomorrow would have been our last day as an unmarried couple. Comment 1. This tradition is disgusting. He's essentially asking you to expose yourself to every male in his family. It's nuts. Not to mention reeks of control and abuse. Comment 2. You may not have an intact hymen. Most females don't. This proves nothing. Plus, it's disgusting to even think about your soon-to-be in-laws looking at your twat. Comment 3. I'm so angry at this, it's literally like, hey, can my dad molest you real quick just to check your purity? So insulting towards you and gross. Take care, Opie. Story 2. Update. My 22F fiance, 25M, want his father to check my hymen tomorrow night before I get married. First off, thank you all so much for the replies. I honestly didn't expect this to blow up the way it did. I've read almost all the comments. Extra love to the person who claimed this was fake just because I write like a man. Still not sure what that even means, LOL. Also, thank for the gold and silver. I really do appreciate it, but if you're thinking of spending money, maybe consider donating to a charity instead. Anyway, I talked to him this morning. I told him that I wasn't comfortable with his father scrutinizing me and that he needed to respect that. He pushed back hard, insisting that it had to happen, and even accused me of lying about my virginity. I tried to stay calm and reasonable, but he just kept getting angrier. I told him that if he truly loved me, he would have my back and stand up to his dad. His response? He slapped me and said he didn't need to prove anything to me. So I ended it. I walked away. Right now, I'm back at my friend's place, feeling awful, eating pizza, and doing my best to recover. Misery with a side of pepperoni isn't the worst way to start healing, I guess. Comment 1. Wow, just as controlling as we expected. To accuse you of lying and slap you is real bold on his part. Good work getting rid of him. You'll be much better off. Glad you have a good friend on your side. Comment 2. Might as well call the cops on him for assault. I mean, wow. So glad you got out, Opie. How did it not cross through his mind that the check seemed wrong? Just because his mom did it so long ago doesn't mean it's correct now, or justifies it at all. Not sure if you did reveal your ex's cultural background in your last post. but if you did, mind reiterating it? Story 3. My 20F boyfriend, 20M, said that I was embarrassing him while I was giving birth to our baby. My partner and I had been together for a year when we welcomed our baby boy last week. I gave birth naturally, and he was present throughout the entire labor and delivery. I wish I could say it was a supportive experience, but honestly, his behavior during the birth was incredibly hurtful and upsetting. Labor was intense, and I was in a lot of pain. I screamed during contractions, as many do, and every time I did, he would whisper things like, "Can you stop screaming? You're really embarrassing me." I threw up a few times from the pain and medication, and I caught him covering his face like he was ashamed of me. At one point, I reached for the midwife's hand for comfort, and he told me to let go, saying I was being embarrassing again. He even commented on the birthing position and called me a few crude, demeaning names. I can't stop thinking about how alone and unsupported I felt in that moment when I needed him the most. When I tried to talk to him afterward about how his words made me feel, he completely denied saying any of it. He brushed me off and told me I was being silly. Edit. I've been reading all the comments and messages, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who's taken the time to share support, advice, and similar experiences. It means a lot. Red heart. I did talk to my mom about what happened. She agrees his behavior was wrong, but she's quite traditional and encouraged me to try couples counseling before making any big decisions. I don't really believe he'll be open to it, but I said I'd try. I'm also planning to talk with my public health nurse. Update. Thank you again for the support, both in the comments and in my inbox. Hearing from others who've been through similar situations has really helped me feel less alone. I did try to bring up the idea of couples counseling with him, but as expected, he shut it down completely. That didn't surprise me, but it still hurt. Thankfully, my mom has offered to let me and the baby stay with her until I can get back on my feet and find a place of our own. I haven't told him yet. Based on advice I've received, I'm planning things carefully before I make any moves. I want to make sure my baby and I are safe and supported as we take this next step. Comment 1. I'm surprised your midwife didn't tell him to leave the room when he was acting like that. I'd hate to see how he copes with a crying baby. Keep your eye on him, seriously. Comment 2. I'm going to disagree with the people saying he needs to grow up here. Because this isn't an immaturity issue. You don't insult and degrade your partner while they give birth to your child because you're immature. You do it because you're a huge asshole. And you don't gaslight her about it afterwards because you're immature. You do it because you're a huge manipulative asshole. He's ensured that one of the biggest things you'll remember about that day is him verbally abusing you. No good person would ever do this. And I can't imagine someone being an angel up until this point either. I would bet there's more to his behavior, even before this, even if you're not aware of it. Comment 3. My husband shoe shed me during contractions, no pain relief. A few months later, he got a kidney stone, and even with pain relief, he was crying out in pain. Karma is a thing. Story 4. Update. My boyfriend said that I was embarrassing him while I was giving birth to our baby. Reading through everyone's responses really helped me understand just how serious my situation was. I realized that staying in this relationship would not only be dangerous, it would be a huge mistake. I spoke to my mom, who initially suggested couples counseling. She said if that didn't work, I'd be welcome to move back in with her. When my partner got home, I gave him an ultimatum, Either he acknowledged how horribly he behaved during the birth, and in other moments too, apologized and agreed to get counseling, or he could keep gaslighting me and we'd be done. Unsurprisingly, he chose the latter. He got furious, screaming at me and the baby, then stormed out to stay at his best friend's house. A lot of people had warned me against couples counseling in abusive situations, and looking back, I wish I'd read that advice before I tried. Many explain that abusers often manipulate the process to make themselves look like the victim or the reasonable one, which just reinforces their control. After he left, my mom came over. She's very traditional and usually doesn't support single parenting, but even she said, he's an asshole. Anything is better than staying with him. That really said a lot. Since then, he's tried to show up at my mom's, knowing I'd likely be here. But both my mom and I told him it's over. From here on out, everything will go through the courts. I'll be telling my solicitor everything, so custody arrangements are up in the air. But for now, I'm just relieved to finally be out and safe with my baby. Yesterday, I went shopping and bought things I liked instead of what he wanted me to buy, and I felt more free than I have in years. That might sound small to some people, but after having every part of my life controlled for so long, it felt massive. That said, I know the journey's far from over. I'm planning to start therapy soon. Between the trauma of the birth and the emotional abuse, I know I've got a lot to unpack. I also called a few domestic abuse helplines, and they gave me some amazing guidance, so thank you to whoever sent those my way. You helped more than you know. What really surprised me was a message I got from his best friend, the same one he ran to. He reached out to say he was glad I'd finally left. He said he'd seen how miserable I was and that my ex had always shown disrespect to women, not just to me, but even to his colleagues. It was validating to hear that, and it reminded me that I do have people on my side. I know the road ahead won't be easy. Things will probably keep shifting for a while, and yes, I'm scared. But what matters most is that my son and I are safe. I'm finally feeling empowered enough to recognize that what he did to me was completely wrong, and I'll keep fighting to make sure he's held accountable. Thank you all again. I won't forget the support I received when I needed it most. Edit. I've noticed a lot of questions about why couples counseling can be harmful in abusive situations, so I wanted to add some context. From what I've read, and from what domestic abuse professionals have shared, it can actually make things worse. Abusers often play the good guy in front of a therapist, using it as another way to manipulate the narrative. For example, they'll twist it later by saying things like, even a counselor thought I was a great partner. You're the only one with a problem. It can become just another tool for gaslighting and control. Comment one. I am so happy for you. You will heal and grow. Best wishes for you, baby, and your mom. Comment 2. I had my first child when I was 17. My BF was an asshat too. He was abusive, controlling, and much like your ex, ruined my early days as a new mom and undermined my confidence as a mother and a person. So I left him, moved back home to raise my daughter alone. I was terrified, lonely, and had postnatal depression. I got my mental health back on track, rocked motherhood, thoroughly enjoyed every second of being a mom, raising my incredible girl. She's 26 now. The freedom to go where I wanted, speak to anyone I wanted to, buy things I wanted for myself and my daughter, was so freeing. It's ridiculous how such tiny things make you realize how controlled you really were. By the time my girl was 1 year old, I had a great job that allowed me to have my daughter with me full time. I had my own place, and eventually I met a great guy who treated my daughter as his own. My life was suddenly great. I'm 43 now, I have 3 amazing kids, a wonderful husband, and I wouldn't change a thing. Comment 3. Well done you. Congratulations on having the courage to stand up for yourself and your little one and make a better life for you both. You are very brave. Best of luck to you. Comment 4. This is so awesome. You are so awesome, and you will continue to be such an awesome mom without him. Congratulations on everything. Comment 5. I think it's weird that your mom doesn't agree with single parenting. Please be careful that she doesn't influence your life too much as well. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.